This is FNX.
The world's almost finest podcast.
Yeah, because we're just about there.
I'm sitting here with blogger, wrestling commentator, announcer, Jake Johnston.
Well, first off, I want to go ahead and say, yes, Mr. Rediger here is the illustrious creator of the Elite Geek Syndicate, so technically you are hearing the voice of God right now. Just wrap your heads around that, people. God is speaking to you.
We got a comment on our last podcast saying that we sounded a little too much like the world's almost finest podcast. And we're glad you said that because nobody wants to be like the world's almost finest podcast if you actually know them. I've been there, I've done that, I helped create the show. We don't want to be like those cynical assholes. We here at the Broadcast Podcast Network are just doing our own thing. But the podcast that the FNX Network really likes has a little bit of a problem with us even existing. Let's go down some of the reviews that our podcast has gotten recently. This one's my favorite. This one is actually further back. It's from Sir Josh Thomas himself. He tweeted a long time ago when we were just the two broke jobless guys who were frustrated with wrestling. He said, two broke jobless fuckwads who know nothing about wrestling pretending they know stuff about wrestling podcast. What a 6-year-old. This one is from everyone's hero, Mark Vandy.
Get a load of this guy.
How many podcasts can two guys have? Obviously, you don't get listeners. Obviously. So you keep throwing shit at the wall? Stop. You guys suck. Sounds like somebody doesn't like to share the FNX network.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
I need money.
Welcome to the Broadcast Podcast, brought to you today by a new documentary we've been working on, The Rise and Fall of Owen Hart.
Oh, who sponsors that?
That's being brought to you by Skylatech,
Oh my goodness.
the world leader in safety harness. I'm the AA Ron.
And I, censored by the FNX network. That's who I am.
We have been censored.
I'm Poophead Dave.
Poophead Dave.
What's been going on?
Well, Joan Rivers died.
That's what you get when you try to put plastic surgery on your heart?
Yeah,
She
I
ran
guess,
out of things to do?
I guess she went in for some routine outpatient procedure and just died on the table.
Yeah.
Her face will live forever, though.
You know,
And that's
like,
all plastic surgery.
we were all sad because of Robin Williams, and then, this happened, and just,
Well, at least she didn't kill herself.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that it might be a bit controversial. A lot of people think a lot of different things, but in my personal opinion, Robin Williams killed himself. He made the decision.
He only did what his therapist told him to do, and he hung in there.
He did indeed hang in there.
He hung in there.
Hung right in his closet, I believe it was. But no, he made the conscious decision to take himself out. Joan Rivers is sadder in my opinion. I don't even like Joan Rivers. I just think it's sadder because she died of causes not her own. I know depression, whatever. There's a bunch of people depressed right now who aren't killing themselves.
So,
in other media news, an alive person got approved to play a part in a movie. Dwayne Johnson's going to play Black Adam.
Oh, yeah?
In the new Shazam.
Finally, it came out. I don't want to sound like racially insensitive, but there was no fucking way he was going to be Captain Marvel.
And we were actually talking a little bit before we started recording. I called that shit.
Yeah, you did.
When it came out that he was going to be in a DC movie, and he started, me and actually another person who's associated with the Broadcast Podcast, Westicles, we were talking about potential parts, and I always said Black Adam would be right where he'd fit in real well, and boom, he's Black Adam.
Boom, yeah.
He was pushing for Black Dynamite, but,
Michael J. White is the man.
Michael J. White is the man. Another shout out to Michael J. White. We're always shouting out to Michael J. White.
That has to be like the third or fourth shout out since the start of our...
I'm pretty sure that's like the 7th shout out.
Yeah. So, thankfully, our good friend Thor H13 hasn't been swatted recently.
Yeah, swatting. That's in recent news. I feel like Dan Rather kind of ran in recent news.
On to the next one.
On to the next news story.
Swatting is like turning out to be a really fucking dangerous thing. People are doing.
The first person ever recently got. Swatting's been going on for about, I believe, a year or so.
It happens to Twitch people.
Mostly Twitch people. Any streamers, any stream site.
Yeah.
But a person finally got convicted of that. A 15-year-old kid was brought in front of a judge and was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Man. They tried him as an adult, a 15-year-old. They got him on 2 counts of domestic terrorism. I guess some other kid kept beating him at like Battlefield 4 or something. So he took the kid's gamer information, called in the swatting thing. Uh-huh. And if you don't know what swatting is when you know somebody's doing a live stream, and while they're doing a live stream, you call the police in their area.
All you need is their address.
You call the police and you tell them that this person has a hostage situation, or they're going to blow something up. Anything that would constitute a police raid.
While they're live
streaming, and the police bust in their house, break their windows, break their doors,
just for people to see them get thrown on the ground, tased,
for
whatever.
Absolutely no reason whatsoever. Yeah. If I don't know how Shithead here feels about it, but I don't condone this at all. No, I feel like the kid got what he deserved. Mm-hmm. You don't. Because the guy who got swatted, his dad was critically injured. Not fatally, thank God. Yeah. But he was critically injured by the police when they raided this house. The kid got sentenced, like I said, to 25 years to life in prison. He's 15. Which means that if he serves his full sentence, it means he's going to be 40 by the time he gets out of prison.
There goes his whole life.
Yeah, well, and because of a stupid decision. Yeah. So, listeners out there, don't do this shit. If you do this shit, you're a fucking idiot, and I hope you burn in hell when you die, and I hope that you die soon after you do this.
I want this to be more of a PSA for the Twitch people. If you don't already have an established name, go under a fake name.
Right.
Comedians do this across the country.
Leave your home information, leave all of that out of it. If you can, when you're streaming, obviously, it's a webcam kind of deal, so it's, you're not going to hide your face, but make yourself a character. Make an online persona. You don't have to be yourself, because I know I'd be pretty pissed if a bunch of police officers busted in here for no reason.
It's not the Andy Griffith show anymore. These police forces have assault weapons now, and they come busting in the door.
Well, and if you look
AKs,
it takes one quick search on YouTube to look at all of the kinds of shit that police officers do nowadays. I mean,
they gotta keep
just on Facebook. Just on Facebook the other night, I watched some cops in an area neighborhood. They some guy smarted off to him. They stopped the car, they were already outside the car. Anyway, some guy smarted off to him. The guy had a big Rottweiler with him. He put the Rottweiler in the car to talk to the police. Well, the police arrested the guy. Mm-hmm. While they were arresting him, the dog jumped out of the car, went after the police, because they were roughing up. You know what I mean? They're roughing up his owner. Yeah. They shot the dog. I mean, that's just the kind of cops we're dealing with. Not that I'm trying to give cops a bad rap. No. Anything. Like I said, it takes one search on YouTube to try to look and see that cops these days, are on edge.
They're armed and they're fucking dangerous. They're armed
and they're on edge and they're willing to use their weaponry.
Oh man, the cops get so fucking pumped up to ruin some motherfuckers these days too. Right. And if they hear that there's a hostage situation or it's a drug ring, they're going to do some fucking damage. And there's videos of swatting online where kids are getting thrown to the ground and like their arms bent backwards and tased and all this stuff.
Well, think about it this way, right? I mean, one of the most famous... I mean, there are really famous videos that pertain to police brutality. And that's police brutality. You remember, like, the whole big thing, the don't tase me, bro. Everybody remembers don't tase me. Mm-hmm. That guy didn't do anything and he got tased. If they think that you're dangerous, like if they think you have a hostage situation, they're not going to care. If they didn't care about tasing that guy, they're not going to care what they do to an actual criminal, honestly, or at least a suspected criminal.
If you call up and say something really bad's happening in this house, they bust down the door to this kid's bedroom, and he's got like 4 monitors, and like it looks like he's a fucking evil genius in there, sitting there with like 4 gaming monitors. It looks like he's up to like something really fucking bad.
Right,
and they're like, "What are you doing in here?" And
most streamers they've got about 8-9 programs running at one time.
Massive setups, yeah.
So,
but just be careful, people, because everyone in the world has internet access now. It no longer costs you money to go get internet. You can, if you don't have internet, you can go to Burger King and get their internet, and then you can, no matter any bad person can get on there and do whatever the hell they want to now.
Well, see, and that's the thing, though, too. A lot of people are like, oh, well, it's just trolling. This isn't trolling.
This not trolling.
This is hurting people financially. It's hurting people psychologically. Yep. I mean, because if a cop raids your house, normally the cops aren't going to pay for the damages to that house. They're going to be like, oh, well, we got a false, and then this kid who got prosecuted, his parents are probably going to have to pay for damages, stuff like that, because the police sure as fuck aren't going to do it.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah.
For all you people who get really salty and get really hurt by people whooping your ass online at games, don't play any fucking games online. Don't be that fucking much of a jackass. I mean, at least go meet these people in person and let them beat your ass in real life if you're going to kind of do that kind of shit.
It's not even a funny prank.
It's not a prank.
Serious. It's very
Here's
serious.
the thing about that. It's not a prank.
That's what people think
it
it is.
The people who are labeling this shit pranks, it's not a goddamn prank. Mm-hmm. This is not funny. Knock it the fuck off.
Yeah, really, because we know streamers.
I know a couple of them.
And that can happen to them at any time. Because all it takes is somebody says something on a stream or somebody doesn't like the way they're playing a game.
Right.
Like, wouldn't it be hilarious to do this?
Well, like, let's say, like, it's for stupid reasons, too. Like, say somebody's streaming, so somebody starts spamming the chat room, they get kicked. They get pissed because they got kicked off the chat room because they were spamming, and boom.
Yeah.
Now you've got a shit ton of problems.
The world wasn't ready for the internet. Before, people talked to each other better. You could feel emotion. You could actually communicate with people. But it also, on the other side of bullying, you could always just turn around and go home. But nowadays, you turn around and go home, you get on the internet, and there it is again.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. There's no safe zone anymore.
No, there's no safe.
Your room used to be your safe area.
Yeah.
Well, now, almost every kid, I can't say every kid, but almost every kid's got a laptop, computer, cell phone
so
in
much
their room.
pressure to use it, too.
And they're in their room. Well, schools are mandating it now.
Yeah.
Schools are mandating the use of computers.
Well, it's so much pressure to even be on Facebook now. It's like, if you stop statusing, then your friends go, hey, man, you haven't been online in a while. Well, I don't want to fucking be online,
Well, see, for me,
a dangerous place.
My Facebook, I recently downloaded that Time Hop app.
Yeah.
And, man, I don't ever have any time hops. Like, everybody posts a new time hop every day. They're like, oh my god, LOL, this was 5 years ago. On my 5 years ago, it's like, you didn't post shit. Time hop actually gets mad at me. There was one time, I went 2 weeks, I first downloaded it, 2 weeks before my first time hop. And time hop was like, seriously? I got a little message saying, you don't use this app very often. Time hop was like, seriously, motherfucker, why didn't you post anything? The apps are telling me that I don't post enough.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
The dark side of the internet definitely showed with the swatting thing. It's great. The internet's great for informational uses and a lot of other stuff.
You know what's crazy to me is that actually, you were talking about that, the dark side of the internet is stuff like YouTube and this swatting stuff. Remember when the internet first started and the dark side was porn? When it was just like, they can use the internet for what? That was the whole dark side. That was the worst thing ever. It's like, so instead of going down to the corner store and stealing a magazine, you could just get online, and that was the worst part of it.
It's so sad
now,
that pornography was looked down upon as, because pornography is a very personal thing you do with yourself. But now the dark side of the internet is us. Doing things to other people.
That's my point, though.
Yeah.
The worst of the worst was porn.
It was such a thing so innocent.
Porn is just it's just porn. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've never viewed porn as a bad thing.
I haven't either.
A lot of people will be like, well, porn can do this, whatever. But if that was the worst the internet had to offer, now you got to worry about, keyloggers who like to steal identities.
Yes.
You have to worry about, this whole swatting thing. Mm-hmm. Hell, dude, I'll even admit, I'm a junkie for watching, people get knocked the fuck out on YouTube. I'm a junkie for it. That's terrible. That's terrible. I should not enjoy watching people get knocked out. It's not funny.
It is pretty unhealthy.
When people start having, seizures,
No, your addiction's pretty unhealthy. Remember, I was over the other night, and you're like, let's watch another.
Yeah, it was
more
constant.
I need compilations.
You're right.
Where is it?
Watching full, hours worth of compilations of just one knockout after another. Not UFC either.
Yeah.
Get that through your head, too. It's not UFC knockouts. I'm watching, street fights. People getting just really beat.
But it is ironic.
But that's the dark side. That's the dark side of the internet.
Pornography, it was looked at as something like, this is so sick. And I'm like, what about the things that we do to other people every day?
Yeah. It's entertainment. Yeah. Everything's entertainment now. The thing about the internet is it actually brought out the worst in people.
Yeah.
Because think about, ISIS and stuff like that. ISIS is a hot-button topic right now. Mm-hmm. They're chopping people's heads off. It's not on local access. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Yeah. They use the internet so they can show you them cutting other people's heads off.
But again, it's all this sick shit is happening, but you don't. At the same time, you don't want the internet to be censored. Because that's what the SOPA thing was about,
Well, the internet, they have no right to censor the internet.
No. but at the same time, it's like the internet is the Wild West. You can
It's like
see
the
anything
free.
you want.
Well, it's like the Free Information Act. I mean, we have freedom of speech. The internet's no different. You're not supposed to trade secrets on the internet. You're not supposed to, you're not, it has anything that's not to do with national security. The internet's free reign. That was the whole point of the internet. It was supposed to be an information database. Well, information comes in many forms. It doesn't just have to be facts that you need to know. Information is just a fact, period.
Now we're all addicts of the internet, and we act like addicts. We act violent towards each other. We act, so many people get so offensive about Facebook and what did you mean by that message and shit like that, and misread it and get violent towards each other, just like drug addicts get violent towards each other.
Right.
And I think America is highly addictive because I'm just like every other American. I am torn between do I love the internet or I fucking hate the internet.
Well, see, I love the internet. I'm not one of those people who's torn. I don't hate the internet. I love it. I fucking love it. I mean, like I said, call me an addict, I guess. But I love it. Because if I couldn't watch people getting knocked the fuck out on the occasion on the internet, I don't know what I would do with hours of my time.
It's a mental thing.
I could do something productive, I suppose. But
I tweet so much. It's like I said tweet after tweet after tweet. And then the other night, I was about to watch a playthrough of Sims 4. And something snapped in my brain where I was like, I have to tweet and tell people I'm about to watch Sims 4. And I'm like, and then I start thinking, I'm like, I'm addicted to Twitter, and it's weird. I have to tell people I'm about to do something.
I actually looked at my Twitter the other day, and I was like, man, I have like 7 tweets total. My entire life, like I've tweeted 7 times. But I don't use Twitter. I mean, I use Facebook.
There's a lot of people
but
who are addicted.
I don't use Facebook like as far as like posting as much as I use the Messenger a lot.
Internet's went from a tool to a
lifestyle,
and something that it's whose fault it is those.
Well, it's our fault.
It's a select few of those damn people that got famous from it. Now everyone thinks they can become a Twitter celebrity, YouTube celebrity. Everybody's like, I can do it, and they lose their lives in it.
Well, look at Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
he was a YouTube sensation.
Yeah, Justin Bieber.
Now he's a
Fred,
fucking. Now he's a goddamn. I mean, everybody hates him.
Everybody forgets he was from YouTube, though.
Yeah, but he was just some little kid on YouTube. That's what he was. We took a fresh-faced little Canadian kid, and we destroyed him.
Yeah, we did.
The internet destroyed that guy. It inflated his child head.
Even Taco Bell's after his throat. With the Taco Bell breakfast, Canadians were pissed because they didn't get the breakfast taco.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the president of Taco Bell released an official statement to the Canadians that says, as soon as you take back Justin Bieber, we'll give you breakfast in Canada.
Yeah.
And that was an official statement. I was like, holy shit.
But that's my point.
Hate this
he
kid.
didn't start out as this asshole. The internet
started out
and
as a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah, the internet and fandom made this kid that way. Just like it does every other kid. I mean, look at the actors who started out as kids who are just the worst person. They're the worst people we know
fucked up,
right now. I can't think of any child star that didn't grow up to just be fucked up. I can't think of one. If you can think of one, please.
Yeah,
but
really,
like Lindsay Lohan, the Olsen twins,
even the girl from Family Matters.
Yeah,
is
the
a
girl
star
from
now.
The girl from Family Matters.
Is it? Yeah,
I can't
think
of any children who are in like show business, got famous, who aren't just complete fucking assholes, bitches, cunts, sluts, whores, whatever you want to call it. Is because and it's us. It's not the fame itself, it's the people. There's a reason you have to go to CNN and Fox News to find... Those are the only places you can find political news.
Yeah.
Because we don't give a fuck. We don't care about political news. We care about, like, football starts tonight. And we care about that over the whole ISIS thing. If I can get lost in a football game, fuck ISIS. I don't give a fuck about ISIS. Is ISIS honestly on my doorstep? But that's how I feel. And it's wrong to feel that way. It's wrong of us to feel this way. But we do. Yeah. We fucking do. And that's the beauty of America.
And it only is America. I mean, other places have the internet, but go over to Canada, man. Those guys are just like, put the cell phones down and go hunting, you know?
Kill a moose with your bare hands. Yeah. Do it for real.
You go over to Canada and there's bright blue skies that aren't fucking polluted. There's people putting their cell phones down.
The Aurora Borealis.
Yeah. And,
you can see that in Canada. You ain't seeing that shit here.
Canadians are so fucking nice to each other.
I'm gonna punch you in the face. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
I love that. I love that joke on the new Anchorman, where it was like Jim Carrey was part of the Canadian news team, and he's just like, we're gonna pound your bones into dust. Sorry, like they kept saying sorry after everything they did.
But fuck us, man.
Yeah, and fuck Americans in general. We're all a bunch of douchebags. Like,
yeah, we always have been, actually.
We're the worst people.
We just did a really good job at hiding it for a few years.
We are the absolute worst.
Because we started as assholes, and then we did a really good job of making everybody shut up about how we're assholes. Then we hid it for a little bit, and now it's starting to show up again.
People are like, oh yeah, America sucks.
Yeah.
And we're like, no it doesn't. Yeah. You shut up. That's our argument too. Oh, you don't like America? Shut up.
Yeah.
Like we can't point out we can't point out any reasons why you should shut up. We're just like, shut up. You should shut up because you should shut up.
Yeah.
Like that's
America sucks. Says who? Says the people looking at you assholes.
says the people who live here. Like seriously, we have every advantage one can ask for. We live in one of the most technologically and culturally advanced nations. And people hate it here.
Was it a Louis C.K. joke where he was just sarcastically saying, you know, like, I have it the best. I'm an American white male.
Yeah.
And I hate my life. You know?
I'm a white man.
In America.
You can't even hurt my feelings. Yeah.
And I still hate myself.
Something like that. It was something to that. It wasn't exactly like that word for word, but, I mean, pretty much. Big shout out to Louis C.K. I love Louis C.K. I love his show. I love his stand-up. I would marry his face if I could.
Yeah, I don't think there's that much going on, except for the football game in the background.
For the internet. The internet sucks. That is this broke ass podcast. Like we are terrible people, and you guys just wasted about 25 minutes of your time listening to terrible people,
and we love it,
and we love you for it. All right, signing off. I'm Double A Ron.
I am Shithead Dave.